Hey guys, I have a dear friend that needs to learn how to make sausage and biscuits and gravy, so I'm going to teach her right now. She is sitting in Canton, Georgia, and she has no idea I'm doing this for her. But you see this milk? To this milk, I'm going to add some hot water. You can hang tight. Okay. We're going to add hot water because if you add hot water, then it cooks faster. And I'm all doing this praying that that grease don't burn while we're doing this. So I'm adding the water. So I did it basically 2/3 milk and 1/3 water. Okay, I've got sausage grease from where we just cooked sausage. Hang tight. And then I did 2 big old tablespoons of Crisco. And this is what I was trying to explain to her on the phone the other night. You can't explain this crap. You got to show people. All right, see this? Okay. There's your thickening agent.
Now, how many tablespoons was
that? Was 1 huge tablespoon. And when it gets to this point and you see that it's beginning to do its thing, then you know you can add a little bit more. So I can add a little bit more flour. There you go. And you cook it down. All these foo-foo chefs would say you're going to make a roux. Well, you're going to make some grease and flour is what you're going to make. So, and we're going to brown it, but I don't do brown gravy. Honey, we do white cream gravy. We do not do brown gravy at this house. That is a crime in 3 different states. And we're going to just let this cook a little bit. You have to let it cook to get the flour taste out of it. And we're going to do some salt out of my great-grandmother's salt shaker. This is Granny Gilroy's salt shaker, and she was my precious Granny's mother-in-law. And so there we've got our salt. And the cool thing we're going to do is we're going to put a lot of pepper in here. And while this is cooking, we're going to cook. I'm going to run down there to the other end of the kitchen and I'm going to get my pepper. And you just hang tight and watch that. And tell people kind of what it's doing.
It's smelling really, really good. Because if you smell it while you're smelling the pound cake that's still in the oven, it makes you really, really, really happy to be in Sherry's kitchen.
Okay, now this is pepper. And I'm grinding up the pepper because my friend Hans Rupert saw me using pre-bought ground pepper one day, and he said that's like putting dirt on food. So to my dear friend Hans, I've changed my evil way of living.
Now you're grinding.
So I'm grinding pepper. And I do love pepper in my gravy. Love it, love it, love it, love it. We're going to turn it up just a little bit. It's on medium heat. And you just, you know, it doesn't take long to do this. And we're doing this kind of in steps. So I'm going to make the biscuits after this. It'll be 2 separate videos. But I was trying to explain to Yvonne how you do this. And it's hard to explain this. I cooked 5 pieces of sausage. Got the sausage gravy, or the sausage grease, and then I added 2 big tablespoons of Crisco to that. And then you just brown this, and you just keep stirring. And you brown it. You know, she's from Manhattan,
New York City.
She's from New York City. How could we expect her to know how to make biscuits and gravy? We can't, but we can teach her. We can teach her, that's right.
She will now.
And you see how it's beginning to brown just a little bit. And then you just add a little milk along. And you just, you know, and you kind of sit back and wait. And then you see how it's doing. And then you might add a little bit more. And you might not. You just don't know. It just depends on how it thickens because it's got a mind of its own. That's the thing about gravy. It's kind of like a man during hunting season. He's got his mind made up what he's going to do. He has no idea that he's going to go out there and kill anything. Now this gravy might work perfectly, and I might have to add something to it.
Now I'm noticing the whisk that you're using is a very heavy gauge. None of my whisks have ever been that heavy. That looks very professional.
Yeah, it is. It's, what do you call that stuff, Farberware? Yeah. Siggy and Tori actually got me this for Christmas years ago, and I have used it.
It looks brand new.
Yeah, I've used it.
But I can tell the whisk is a very heavy gauge metal that I'm going to look for that.
An iron skillet, and Got this from the Precious Walford family, and so very, very proud of this. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And see, it's beginning to thicken, and so I just keep adding a little bit at a time. Do you know we have muscadine jelly to go with the biscuits we're going to make in just a minute?
Where did that come from?
Well, they came from our precious Dawn, Cherokee Dawn.
Who has a new hat?
She has a new hat that says deplorables. We love our
Adorable, deplorable.
Adorable, deplorable. And gotta say a shout out to our president. We love you, President Donald John Trump. We are praying for you every single day. We are praying that you keep doing what you're doing because we can afford sausage instead of just making gravy out of water like we did during the 8 years of that administration that just about killed us all.
Do you remember red eye gravy?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. We used to make it at the Iron Skillet restaurant. And for y'all who are in the Jasper, Georgia area, if you ever traveled through here and you ate at the Iron Skillet, you know that we loved serving biscuits and gravy. That was kind of our thing. And folks did learn to stop in there and have my biscuit and some gravy and a little sorghum syrup with some butter mashed up in it. And see how it's getting? And you just keep adding a little bit along. Perfect gravy. You know, I worry a little bit about people losing the technique to cook because we're all so busy and we don't have time. And I wonder how many kids are sitting at home whose mama's never made biscuits and gravy. Reckon?
Probably.
There's some out there?
Well,
That would
look,
be so
think about who
sad.
you're talking to here.
Well, have you ever made biscuits and gravy? You have.
Well, not real biscuits.
Oh my.
No.
Well, you're about to learn. Well, buttermilk is
Well,
about
you've-
time you learn how.
You've taught me how.
Well, we're about to try it again.
No,
so-
my kids were, the frozen ones.
Oh, yes.
Now, I can make gravy, but I can't say that I made it very often.
Yeah. Can you do it like this? Is this kind of how you do it?
I think I've done it once.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure I can.
And see how simple this is? And this, okay, this, biscuits, and some muscadine jelly, that is supper tonight. I mean, that's supper. Look at this budget meal. It's awesome. Awesome. You see that?
Looks beautiful.
Perfect.
I mean, from this vantage point with the steam rising, I mean, this just,
Yeah.
it's photography
Yeah.
at its best.
Yep. Well, we are going to stop this video, and I'm going to turn it around, and we're going to make biscuits in just a minute. So y'all just hang tight. We'll post these probably at the same time. So just, you'll know you have now learned how to make the simplest, easiest, best country white cream gravy. It's so good. And you know, another thing that I used to do back during the poverty days, we would buy a can of evaporated milk and open the evaporated milk and then put a can of hot water in with it. And that would be your base for your gravy. So if you ran out of milk and you didn't have any milk, you just keep a can of evaporated milk on hand and it makes great gravy. So, and again, this is so simple. And how many times have you shown up at your grandma's house and she's made biscuits and gravy and you're like, oh my gosh, that's the most amazing grandmother in the world. My granny made fantastic biscuits. Oh my gosh. She's got mine beaten all to pieces.
Well, I doubt
But
that.
I do make pretty good biscuits. We'll see in just a few minutes. And we're going to do them in the little oven because we do have a pound cake in the big oven. And so I can't disturb the pound cake. I can't turn it up. I can't touch the oven. We're praying over this pound cake because it just nearly came out of the top of the cake pan. It was so light and fluffy, it just about ended up on the floor of the stove. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, all right, we're going to take a break right now. We're going to come back and make some biscuits in just a minute.